All right, here we go. So our project was called UrbanJoy. So we had all these different ideas of maybe a complement generator or something like that. We wanted to think outside the box. So we thought so what might bring someone joy in the long term, right? And one of the major things of how a person's life works out is where they live. So we came up with UrbanJoy. So this is essentially it's a platform to help you decide where to live and what city will bring you the most joy. And so surprisingly, when people decide on when they're going to buy their home, lots of the time they're just winging it and going based on a gut feeling. However, the stats show how this becomes problematic. 45% of owners feel conflicted about where they live. 27% feel like they lack access to green space, and homeowners end up spending 1,800 a month on expenses beyond mortgage when choosing simply based on gut feeling. Choosing a city shouldn't just be a guessing game.
So we wanted to gear this project towards people who are trying to look for new homes. And in order to do that, we had to brainstorm a few features that are going to go into analyzing this. So a few major ones that we incorporated into our project would be detecting a crime rate, depending on the location. Cost of living, of course, that's important. Transportability, so transit, walkability, how that kind of affects where you live and where the right opportunity are, depending on where you live, are. Climate, that's also something we had to analyze. Local events nearby your location, attractions, and weather, safety score, things like that.
All right, so for home mode, so we decided to go for like scraping different sources across the internet to get all our data, right? So yeah, we have sentiment scraping. Most of that is from like X, Reddit, things like that. So every time you add a new city, it'll basically it'll run like this ingesting process where it'll scrape through the internet. And then you have the crime score. So for this, the FBI actually has pretty decently public information for
Oh, go back.
uses of this. Sorry, what did you say?
And then just move that, click that bar.
What? Okay. There's the
You might wanna mute, yeah, there you go.
Okay. There's a crime score that was pulled from, yeah, the FBI has a database. I was able to acquire an API key for that, and that was scraped from their database. And then you have the cost of living. Again, this was similar to the sentiment scraping. We kind of we looked at what people seem to think on social media platforms. And then you had transit score, and then climate. Climate was scraped from these that open weather API.
So moving on to our tech stack, for our front end, we use TypeScript, Next.js, and Tailwind CSS. For our backend, we use Next.js serverless functions along with Supabase for our database and our backend. For our weather API, we used OpenWeatherMap, which is a free weather API. For crime and census data, as Ashwant said, we used the FBI UCR plus the US Census. And then some other scraped APIs we used was X, Reddit, weather, and the FBI database.
So here's the productivity of our application, and it's just essentially the main tool, or it's the main reason for why we build this. So number one, relocating. Of course, we mentioned that this app is geared towards people who want to relocate and move. So we have that. We also have, if you're also planning a trip, you could also use this app to determine where the best vacation spot is, and if you're city planning as well.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll go on to the demo now.
Demo! Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Great slides. What did you guys use to make your slides? Was this
This is
quad
PowerPoint.
slides?
Yeah,
No, you
Claude
guys use
along with PowerPoint together. We kind of just
yeah,
mix different platforms because we're on
yeah,
a time crunch. We're trying to be efficient,
yeah, Claude rocks. No, I use Claude all the
Yeah,
time on the slides. It's great. Let's
for
go check
sure.
it out.
All right, so here is okay, so this is the main this is the Explorer page. So once you authenticate and come in, this is immediately what you see. So immediately you can see this first box is very prominent, right? That's the fit index. So this is where we looked at which this is basically like which thing will bring you most joy, which city will bring you most joy. And based on all those different statistics we collected across different APIs, we amalgamated that and So whatever city was kind of your top pick, we showed that in that fit index box. And then this is kind of like how many sources there are, and then how recently we updated our or like the last ingestion thing where it scraped all the websites. There's our last update basically. So this is kind of like how recent it
This
is.
is dope. Guys, you're at time. So I'm gonna use questions to see more of this
Sure.
because this is awesome. Are you guys gonna deploy this after the hackathon? Because you should.
Yeah, potentially it's pretty nice. We actually already did deploy it. We're working out some
Oh,
kinks with like the deployment.
whoa! Pass the link in the Slack after the event. I would love to check it out.
Yeah,
Does it work
absolutely.
internationally?
Yeah, so it works. It does work internationally, actually. So I'll come back to this, but if you scroll down here, some of the cities that are shown by default, yeah, it does work internationally. The one issue with that though is the FBI crime database. Uh, since I mean, obviously that's the FBI, so that only works in the US. So we only have a proper crime score here. If I go into one of the cities, as you can see, I have the crime snapshot here for Chicago, but if I go back and go to like Vancouver, for example, that wouldn't show up here. So that's the only limitation we have. Maybe potentially that's a future expansion we can go into
Oh, okay. Last thing. Sorry, guys. I'm hogging the mic.
for sure.
Can you type in a new city? Can I just see a new city?
Yeah. So for example, if you type in like
No.
say
Can I pick the city? Can I just go crazy?
yeah, go for it.
Can you do Sao Paulo?
Sal.
SAOPA.
Yeah, there it
Yeah,
is.
hit me up. Biggest city in the Americas. Let's go. Oh, that was
So it
speedy.
yeah, it's actually it takes a while because it's running that whole scraping thing. Um, I don't know if it's saved, but yeah, it's running that whole scraping thing, so it takes a minute to kind of go through. Um,
Can you screenshot after can you guys just screenshot what the result is later? Drop it in the Slack. I'm
yeah,
kind of
for
curious.
sure. We can screenshot it and send that over for sure.
Yeah, stoked. Any other questions? I know we're over time. This is awesome.
Yeah, really kind of related to that. I'm curious, how are you mentioned you're scraping. How are you caching this? Are you like saving it in memory or what does that look like?
Yeah, we have Supabase on the back end, so it's all stored in a Postgre database. So that's
Nice.
how we're taking care of that.
Very cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, do you want me to go through and explain the rest or any
I think
questions?
this I think this is good.